This business was really born out of another business next door, the Anglesey Sea Zoo, and we needed at that time to find something else to do in winter because we had thought we could attract visitors all year round, but it was very, very difficult in the winter, so we wanted something else, and the salt was one of 5 or 6 ideas, and it's the one, of course, that people remember, not the ones that failed. And it was that idea that people have to eat all year round, we've got a resource all year round, we want to create jobs all year round, that led to the research and then the launching of the business. So what we've got here is a pipeline into the sea for which we pay the Queen, and then we've got a 3-stage process that uses a dozen people, and we evaporate the seawater in 2 different ways. First under a vacuum and then in open shallow tanks, and that gives us sea salt, which we then harvest, dry, pack and sell. That's it in a nutshell. It's absolutely fundamental. We're selling the environment, so we're sitting in our meeting room looking out at Snowdonia, and this is where it's just a small room, but to be able to look out at pristine sea and mountains, in a way that's what people are buying, and that's what's on our branding and on our new tubes. So we're adding value because you can buy salt for 20p a tube or £10 a tube, and we're going towards the latter direction because we can't compete in the world on quantity, we can only compete on quality. It's the only way Wales can compete, is by being best, not by being biggest. Local doesn't automatically mean things are good. I think we still have to focus on making good quality things, but if you can keep it local, it's so much better. So all our employees come from the island, 80% of our suppliers come from the island, and you can just feel that it is good for the economy. It's creating direct jobs, it's creating indirect jobs. And you have to be honest and say Anglesey is a challenged island in many ways, and we need hundreds of people and hundreds of businesses doing what we're trying to do. That's my view anyway. Our customer, well, they're in 22 countries, albeit not in huge quantities. Ultimately, it's the end user who's making a choice to put something made by hand on their food. But for us, it's 3 big areas. It's people who buy it in shops, and it's retailing. It's chefs who buy it for cooking. So we're in 8 of the world's top 50 restaurants. So those restaurants could be anywhere in the world. And it's an ingredient, whether it's in Jones or Gumri crisps or butter or soybeans, where we're trying to get it, where people understand that Anglesey adds value, and so it's with Halen Môn Salt. So the latest one is pork crackling, which used to be a very cheap product, but somebody's chosen to get outdoor reared pigs, look for the best salt, and the result is that there's reasonable orders and it's in every Harvey Nichols. If they can be, but we haven't found that possible at the moment, and I have to say it is challenging working with, we're certainly, rather than ingredient, local gift, and like we've found people to make slate bowls for us, but they're not really switched on to being focused on the customer. So if the customer orders 100, you've got to drop everything and do what they say, and that's very difficult. But some of our spices and things, they've just got to come from hot countries. So the best we can do is get organic spices, or visit the island where the vanilla's grown, or focus on, well, celery seed comes from farms in Egypt because the sun just ain't hot enough in Wales. We have 3 byproducts because seawater is really freshwater, salt, and a lot of trace elements. Well, we're taking out the salt to sell. The fresh water comes off as steam, and we collect that, and the byproduct of that is sucking out the heat, so that heats the seawater going back in. But then that gives us our byproduct of distilled water, and we're reusing that on site both, well, it's for pumps, and then the next stage is reusing it for cleaning water on site. Longer term, the intention is to reuse that byproduct and actually sell it as distilled water.